Alrighty, so the media are fully invested every which way in the lie that men can become women and women can become men. Again, one of the reasons that you're losing institutional trust is because you keep telling the American people lies, and then when we note that you are lying, then you get very upset. And then you continue to proclaim that those who debunk your lies are actual fascists. They're just going to keep ramming down the throat of the American people this bizarre idea that men can be women. So, for example, yesterday, an NBC News reporter named Joe Yerkaba said that if you even have debate over whether or not to trans the kids, if you have debates over whether watchful waiting is the best thing to do for an 8-year-old who says that he is a she, as opposed to, starting hormone treatment and then eventually transitioning them into cutting off his penis. If you actually have that debate, it is anti-trans to even have the debate. This is propaganda at its finest from your legacy media.
You describe it as an escalation. Part of that is because we saw record anti-trans legislation last year, more last year than the year before, et cetera, et cetera. Talk about where the trend lines are going and what this means for people in the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, well, advocates in Texas have told me that they expect things to get a lot worse before they get better. And so even if these bills don't pass, they say they still have an impact. A recent national survey, for example, from the Trevor Project found that 85% of trans and non-binary youth across the country said debates on this legislation have negatively impacted their mental health.
Well, I mean, obviously, the best person to report on this is a person who calls herself, they, them. Non-binary. This person doesn't have a gender except for the person's gender. And everybody feels threatened by debate. We can't have debates over these things. Something as basic as whether biological sex exists and is, in fact, the predominant feature in determining somebody's gender. We are not allowed to have those debates because the debate itself is a problem. And this is how you end up with just pure propagandistic stories like the one that the New York Times put out yesterday. So they put out a story called "A Trans Man in Mexico Forges His Own Path." Oh, the heroism. Oh, the heroism. They've been doing these kind of small documentaries on very important people. The very important person that they featured yesterday is Alex Reyes de Anda, the subject of a short documentary by Eloisa Diaz. Quote, "I first met Alex Reyes de Anda, the subject of this short documentary, when I was in a period of questioning and self-reflection after my 41st birthday. Am I the person I want to be? What makes us who we are? Getting to know Mr. Reyes de Anda led me to confront my fears of the wider world and what freedom means in our own lives. Mr. Reyes de Anda is a transgender man living in a small traditional Catholic town in Jalisco, Mexico. His journey in developing his identity and building the life he wants is an inspiration to shake off fear. It's an inspiration, guys. So inspirational. A woman who believes that she is, in fact, a man. He helped me understand identity as a dynamic process, constantly in construction and in dialogue with our environment, the experience we live, and the decisions we make. I learned that identity is marked by scars, by the pain that goes through us, but also by each of the small and great daily victories we achieve in our lives." It's all about that subjective emotional state. And now you have the media fully propagandizing on behalf of a woman who believes that she is, in fact, a man. Here's a little bit of this propaganda documentary from the New York Times.
Cuando yo empecé el cambio, ella ya tenía 2 años.
When I began transitioning, she was already 2. Oh, this is going to be great for the daughter. I obviously started changing physically. So she said, "Mom, are you a man?" Yes. And she left for the other room. Yeah. She was playing there, and from there she called out to me, "Daddy?" And for me, that was the proof. She accepted it. When the hormone transition began, my wife met someone else and left. Yeah. Shocker. My daughter was 2.5. She sent me a message that I'd never see the girl again, and that we'd see each other in court to fight over her custody. So much freedom, so much just wonderful, wonderful freedom. The result of a subjectivist revolution over the nature of human identity. We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, there are a lot of jobs out there that are still open, and it's hard to find great people to fill those jobs. Like, for example, here at the Daily Wire, we are still looking to fill these roles in 2023. VP of Paid Media, Senior Publicist, Senior Network Engineer. If your company is similarly looking for people, you ought to do what we are doing and head on over to ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Try it for free. ZipRecruiter uses powerful technology to find the right candidates for your job. See a candidate you like? You can easily send them a personal invite so they're more likely to apply. Their user-friendly dashboard makes it easy to filter, review, and rate your candidates all from one place. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for all your roles. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within day one. See for yourself. Head on over to ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Try ZipRecruiter for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/DAILYWIRE. ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. ZipRecruiter is indeed the smartest way to hire. Indeed, there are very few good alternatives. Head on over to ZipRecruiter. Find yourself the best employees you possibly can. ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire to get started. By the way, you wonder why people feel they need validation from children? It's because children are stupid. Okay, I have 3 of them and another one on the way. Children don't know things. When a child validates whatever silly idea you put out there, it's not because the child is a repository of wonder and wisdom. It's because children don't know things. That's why it's your job to help guide them through the world in a way that reflects reality. And when instead you decide that it is the job of your child to make you feel subjectively better about yourself by validating your falsehoods, that is a problem for the child. And it demonstrates kind of a problem with you. But again, this is how the media treat these issues. For the media, there is no controversy when it comes to trans issues, which makes it very awkward when it turns out that a bad person claims that they are trans. So this leads to this bizarre situation where every criminal who's a nut, who does something truly awful and evil, who claims that he is a she, is treated with disdain by the media, except for the claim that he is a she. I mean, women these days, it's crazy. Here's a story of a really terrifying female. Quote, jailed Minnesota mosque bomber now identifies as a woman and says gender dysphoria drove her to attack. Now, I love this. We're supposed to doubt the claims about objective reality of evil people as a general matter, right? We should wonder whether they're telling the truth or whether we should respect their claims. But if a man, an obvious man, makes the claim that he is in fact a woman, we immediately have to change the headline to pretend that he is a her. If you look at a picture of this dude, this is a dude. This is a burly dude with a long beard named Michael Harry. And he claims that he is now Emily Claire Harry and is asking the court to acknowledge her transgender identity. And the media, because they have to rush to answer these questions, this is what they do. They have to rush to pretend that this person is actually a member of the sex to which they claim membership. A right-wing militia leader facing life in prison for orchestrating the 2017 Minnesota mosque blast in the United States now identifies as a woman as per court documents. Emily Claire Harry, a 50-year-old leader of the group White Rabbit, who was previously known as Michael Harry, alleged a combination of gender dysphoria and right-wing misinformation fueled her inner bully. And that is what led to this madness, obviously. Now, we can't pretend that that this person is good, so instead we'll just pretend that this person is a woman. I gotta say, the patriarchy is so smart that we are now taking some of our worst criminals, pretending they are women, and you all are going along with it. That's how smart the patriarchy is. Taking all our serial killers, saying that they're women, and you guys are like, wow, I can't look at that. The murder rate by women is just spiking dramatically these days. Or alternatively, the media lied to you, and they lied to you on the regular. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll get into the media's addiction to pretending that men can be women, up to and including actual mosque bombers. Yeah, that's a crazy story. Plus, we'll examine why exactly the media are treating weird and horrible political situations in Brazil and Peru very differently. If you're not a member, become a member and use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.